A lot of people always ask Emory, what exactly do you do? Well,
Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook here at MetLife Stadium. Bring you another edition of 4 Downs with the Czar, where the New York Giants played host to the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks came away victorious by the score of 24-7. Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here at the 2017 Cleveland Browns training camp to take a look at both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball to see what the Browns can bring to the table this upcoming season. I thought the defense won the day today, but let's take a look and listen to what Hugh Jackson, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, thought about today's practice.
The good is that we hadn't turned the ball over a lot. I think...
Welcome to another edition of 4 Downs with the Czar. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here at FedEx Field, where the Washington Redskins played host to the Dallas Cowboys and ended up losing in a tight, close, exciting ball game, 19-16. Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here with Teron Davenport for another edition of Point Counterpoint with the Eagles-Dolphins preseason game here at Lincoln Financial Field. Jump right into it. Teron, what were some of your offensive takeaways starting with the Eagles?
Yeah, a couple things stood out to me. I think really...
Arena Bowl championship. It's Arena Bowl 26 between the Philadelphia Soul and the Arizona Rattlers. So let's take a look at some of the sights and sounds from this week's championship game. Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here with Teron Davenport. The 2017 East-West Shrine Game practices. Day 2, practice 1, East team. Teron, what were some of your takeaways?
He's really invested in this whole experience.
Yeah, that's what I took away from it as well, is the fact that the intensity picked up today, probably because they came out here in full pads. Guys were going at it. We saw teammates arguing with one another. They had a nice individual battle drill to see who's going to get extra reps or take a play off or something like that, and you love to see that intensity pick up. I think that's something that you take away from these practices now that the pads are on. Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here with Chris James and Teron Davenport, and we're at the 2017 Reese's Senior Bowl. The South team just finished up their practice here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. And Chris, what were some of your takeaways from this afternoon?
Really just seeing the one-on-one battles with the running backs.
Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here on the campus of the University of Laval in Quebec City, Quebec, where the 2017 U Sports East-West Bowl will take place.
Now he's a sophomore. He's going to get the ball even more here tonight.
Yeah, he's a football game plan preseason All-American, all-purpose dynamo, rusher, receiver, and most importantly, as a kick returner, he's going to affect the ball game.
It'll be exciting. I know you're fired up.
I am fired up, man. It's a battle of Greater Baltimore, man.
Let's get it going. It's the Bears and the Tigers. The battle for Greater Baltimore. Kickoff is coming up next.
Here with Michael Nieberg and Emory Hunt. Emory, will start with you. Today's game, 2 one-win teams. Kind of surprised at this point to see these two teams struggling a little bit.
Right, and especially within this league as a whole. We know the Patriot League is normally one of the better leagues in the FCS. Both teams are struggling, but both teams are still in the hunt for the title.
Place at CBS 21's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Faulkner Subaru. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. I'm Phil Schitter alongside my partner, the czar of the playbook, Emory Hunt. And for Lower Dolphin, we are treated here to a Faulkner Subaru keys to the game. Emory, let's start with Lower Dolphin.
Well, you have to make sure you tackle in the open field well versus a team that can strike quick in Susquehanna Township. You also want to stay on the field on offense. Their offense is a ball control offense. You have to stay on the field. Now, for Susquehanna Township, it's about stopping the run. You want to put these guys in passing situations that breaks their tendencies, and you have to force turnovers, make it a track meet. If they can do that, they can win this game.
By Football Game Plan's Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. And Emory, we've got an exciting national championship on tap for us here today. The undefeated Falcons and the undefeated Yellow Jackets.
It should be a great game. 2 of the league's best meeting in a championship game, a rematch of what we saw last season. I'm excited to see it kick off.
It's a sweet play. This is Cox trying to get around, has to get past the 40. She's got it up to the 48-yard line. And Kishia Cox to midfield and a first down for Utah.
And what you saw right there was the outside linebacker got caught inside, which allowed the running back to get to the outside and get the first down. You have to hold contain and try to force that player back inside where your help is. Welcome to a new series here on Football Game Plan called Pylon to Pylon. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and a lot of times you'll hear coaches say, we want to play physical, we have to be physical, we want to have a physical mindset. Well, you just don't wake up on game day and decide, hey, today we are going to play a physical brand of football. No, that's a mindset that has to be developed, and that starts in the weight room, on the practice fields, day in, day out. So what I'll do today is walk you through an example of a game-winning drive that exemplifies that mindset. Here's play number 1 of this drive. Simple zone read where the quarterback is reading the end man on the line of scrimmage. And if those two guys that are circled take the quarterback, then he'll give it to the tailback. If they take the tailback, he'll pull it and keep it for himself. But for me, it's the end of this play that's most important. Again, from the end zone cam, the quarterback makes the right read and finishes the run. That tells you how physical he is as a player and how physical they are as a football team. And that's exactly what you want to see your quarterback do with the game on the line. This week versus the Seattle Seahawks, the Green Bay Packers can cause problems for that Seahawks cover 3 because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers is a mobile quarterback and they can utilize him as a single back, thus allowing them to go empty, which puts even further pressure on that Seahawks defense. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here and how they can attack this cover 3. You guys know what cover 3 is. It's here, it's flat, it's here, and here. And the reason why you want to attack it this way is because you want to flood more guys in this area than they can cover. I think when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers that's a mobile guy, you can go empty and he'll be essentially the running back, so he'll occupy one of these backers. So here's what you can do. You know, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're reading weak side to front side because you know you're going to flood the zone, but you still want to check back weak side and see what you have. So what we're going to do in the slot, we're going to take away this safety. We're going to work him up, over, dig. So we're going to try to take away the free safety, Earl Thomas, by running a dig his way, hopefully taking him out of the picture. And you also have your built-in hot read over here. We're going to run a spot route. So he's going to run across, slowly dragging across. He's going to either stop here. Don't forget to check out and grab one of 3 football game plan books. What Did Football Teach Me? Football, A Love Story, and Stiff Arming Football Myths. You can find these on our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Welcome to another edition of Talking Ball with the Czar. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here on the campus of the University of Rhode Island with head football coach Jim Fleming. Coach, I appreciate you taking time.
Well, I appreciate you having us.
Defense has been your calling card your entire career, and ever since you've gotten here at Rhode Island, the defense has gotten better and better. I wanted to know, how important is it to establish defense first, considering the fact that you were all-conference tight end back in your college playing days?
That's a long time ago. A long time ago. I guess, you know, you can start off with it. You know, it hasn't always been.
A great start here, back-to-back Ivy titles. What went into that season, or what went into that spring that allowed you to say, like, hey, you know what, this 2016 team is going to be special?
Well, I think you take every season as its own entity going.
Now, during the spring, did you see that sort of mindset and physicality bleed over to the offense side of the ball?
Yeah, and I think the nice thing about Temple University and the culture that's been in place here for the last 10 years, kids here are tough.
I call McMaster the Alabama of the CIS, or I'm sorry, U Sports now,
exactly.
the new term. But you had a great workout here today. One thing that was impressive about your game on film and out here is that you are able to slow the ball down with your eyes and catch the ball cleanly with your hands. Is that something you work on while you're in college?
Oh, for sure. You work on your craft every day.
I think you have gotten better each and every year, you know, from a quarterbacking standpoint, from leadership standpoint. Have you seen your growth in your game, and where have you seen that growth in your game?
Yeah, I am seeing growth in myself just as a person, you know, being more comfortable in the NFL. When I first got into the league, you never know what to expect, and so it's kind of like a whirlwind. But, I mean, just to be able to be around the guys all the time, you know, we're constantly working at this thing, learning different.
You were out there doing your thing all week long. A little bit of a transition coming from the FCS to playing in that All-Star game to now here in the NFL. How has that transition been for you?
It's been good. You know, it seems like it's been a long time since the Shrine game. You know, it really hasn't been all that long, but
just because, you know, in high school we only ran 2 coverages, so I ain't have to read nothing. I ain't have to, you know, no checks, none of that. So when I got to college, it was just a whole different ball game for me. I'm like, whoa, it's a lot. But you know, I ended up getting it, and once I got it, you know, I could play how I really wanted to play.
What's up, everybody? I'm Football Game Plan's Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and I hope you're enjoying the first half of the Westchester Slippery Rock game as well as I am. And it's never too early to talk 2018 NFL Draft, so here's a look at some of the prospects in this ball game that you want to keep an eye on moving forward. Slippery Rock has a stud defensive lineman in Marcus Martin. Now, Martin owns a Slippery Rock and PSAC record for tackles for loss with 66 and quarterback sacks with 40.5. With his ability to play with his hand off the ground or in the dirt, Martin provides a good bit of flexibility in how he's able to get to the quarterback. The 6'3", 245-pound senior from West Mifflin, Pennsylvania is also on the Senior Bowl watch list, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him end up in Mobile, Alabama come January. Moving downfield, Joe Mixon is the polarizing prospect of this draft class, but on the field, there's a lot to like about his game. The comparison you'll see from a lot of people is Le'Veon Bell, and I can definitely see that. For instance, when you look at the patience of Mixon, you can see some Le'Veon in his game. He does a great job of allowing his blocks to be set up before making a decision, and too often you'll see backs immediately take this carry outside instead of being patient. Patience gave him the opportunity to rip off the big gain. Now, later on in the same contest,
This kid beats out Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware was a dog towards the end of the year last year.
It's hard to keep good football players off the field, and Hunt is a guy that can do something that Spencer Ware can't do. He can make that run, that 80-yard touchdown run, that 65-yard touchdown run. He can ring up that cash register pretty quickly. That's the element of the game Kansas City missed last year in the running game because they didn't have Jamal Charles. I think they've added that now with a guy in Kareem Hunt that also gives them the same thing that they look for out there backs catching the ball. And Forte, you saw he just doesn't have the juice anymore. He still has a wiggle to make that first guy miss, but he doesn't have anything after that. And when you look at a guy like McGuire has the ability to be your tailback, your slot guy, and also your returnman. I think he's going to have a splendid exhibition of running skill set against the Atlanta Falcons. But all seriousness, on this network, I told you guys
on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network,
Kareem Hunt, right? See what happens when you listen to the Zona playbook? I try to tell you guys. Now, here's what I'm telling you about Tariq Cohen. You can't hit what you can't catch. You can't hurt what you can't touch. And you have a guy that's like Cohen that can make you miss in the phone booth. You have a crash test dummy, and Jordan Howard is going to run into the back of linemen.
Wow, he ran for 1,300 yards last year.
And he also ran into
1,313 yards.
He could have had 2,000 had he learned how to make guys miss. A better question would be, what don't I do?